Today we have a tutorial of a super adorable little fabric balloon. It is super cute. You can use it for room decor, party decor, gifts, whatever you want. And it is super easy to make, but since it is so easy to make, I decided to make it a little more difficult for you by including some hand embroidery on it, combining my two favorite crafts. So if you want to see how I made this so you can make one too, just keep on watching. First thing I do is make a little template for myself, and I'm using 12 by 12 inch paper, and this ends up being 7 inches wide on the widest part, and I'm just making a template of a half of the balloon, not the full. And I taped the two pieces together. It ended up being about 15 inches long at the longest part, and then I cut out the rest of it. And this is one of my favorite papers to use if it's a template that I'm gonna keep for a little bit, especially for accessories. Then I'm gonna get my template and make sure that I have my fabric folded, and the straight edge will go along that fold of the fabric, and I just pin it in and trace it once right by the template, and then about 1/2 inch away to allow for seam allowance and stuff like that. And then I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to make 2 of these little balloon pieces. Now I have the 2 main pieces cut out and the 2 pieces that I'll need. I'm gonna find the middle, the center of one of the sides. I'm actually gonna do this on both sides, but I'm finding the center, and then I'm putting lines 2 inches above the center and 2 inches below the center, making a 4-inch wide gap. And I have this name, and I'm going to put it in between that 4-inch wide gap, and I'm just using Procreate on my iPad and kind of using that as a light box by turning some light down, and I just trace over that. And to trace this and make all my lines, I do use a Frixion heat erasable pen, and then I went over it just so I see it better, and I'm using a 8-inch hoop, I believe. Not totally certain. I believe this is an 8-inch hoop, but you can use a smaller or a bigger one. It doesn't really matter. You can just move it around. But I'm also cutting out a little piece of fabric that is about 5 inches wide and about I say 6, let's count that, about 10 inches long, and I'm putting it where the name is, so I'm doubling up on the fabric where I'm going to embroider, just to make sure that it's sturdy and stuff like that. Where I'm embroidering, it's better to have a thicker surface. Since this is the fabric that I'm using is a tablecloth, and it's cotton, so it'll be a little loose if I put many holes in it. That's why you want to double up on that fabric. And then this is my hardest part, is deciding what color to make something. I was gonna go with the pink because this is a girl's name, but then I just decided to make it monochromatic and use a dark green. And I'm starting off by just doing a back stitch, and I'm doing this along the whole name, starting with the back stitch, but I am going to make it a whipped back stitch. I like to do the whole name first, or whatever I'm doing, and then I'm gonna whip it. And this right here, I'm trying to show you, hopefully you can see how the back stitch goes. You come out from underneath the fabric and then go back in at the end of your previous stitch, and then you come back out a little bit further, like the length of your stitch, like that, and then go back in at the end of your previous stitch again, and you just repeat that process over and over again. And you can stop here. It's a very simple stitch, and I do love it, especially with just a line name. It looks very neat, but I do love to do a whipped back stitch for the names, so I decided to do that. And for the whipped part, all you're going to do is come up at the beginning of your stitch, and you're not going to go back into your fabric. You're just gonna go, like you see how I'm doing, just going underneath the string, underneath the strands, and going over and over into each stitch, just like, and it's making that whipped effect, which just looks like a rope. So maybe you like the back stitches being visible better, but this does stand out a little bit better in person. And then for the letter I, you do a French knot, and this is not necessary to learn, but I'll just show you how to do it. You come out from the fabric, and then you put the string around the needle once or twice. I did it twice for a thicker French knot, and then you go back in slightly to the side of where you came out of. And then you're done with, if you did do the embroidery part, I do recommend you doing it if you want to make this personalized. But if you don't want to learn how to hand embroider and you do have a Cricut machine or something like that, you can just do a little vinyl name on there, or little pictures, or whatever you want to do with the vinyl, and it'll look just as beautiful. But this is what it looks like in the back, and I did just trim down that second layer of fabric a little bit. You don't have to do that. I don't know why I did that. I just decided to do that. Then for the second balloon fabric side, this will be the back side. I find also the center basically, and the horizontal and the vertical center, and I made that line about 2 inches above the center again. And I'm gonna attach a little tab here so we can hang it on the wall with it looking invisible. So you want to do it a little bit further down than just it being up, sticking out from the top, and this will make it look like it's floating on the wall. You'll attach that tab by sewing the top and the bottom, and that'll sew it down to the balloon. I also did a little line in the middle in case you wanted to hang it lower or higher. That's not necessary. I would just make my tab smaller in the future. Then what you'll do is iron down or fold in the ends of your balloon wherever the end part is, and then you put it pretty side to pretty side, clip it together, and sew all around besides the end right there that's folded down. You won't sew that shut yet. After you sew it, you'll want to cut off the extra fabric. I did it with pinking shears so there's no fraying in case it does get messed around with. And then you're going to turn it right side out. I did just here measure to make sure both sides are even, but through that hole that you haven't sewn together, you're going to turn it right side out, and then you're going to stuff it. And I stuffed it with a polyfill, which I feel like for this it is the best. It's fiber polyfill, and it's super light. And you don't want to overstuff it if you want it to have that a little bit deflated balloon look. Oh, also here I ironed it, and that ironed off all the marks that I made, the name that I drew on, and all the lines that I made on there, since it is a heat erasable pen that I used. And I made sure my edges are together and straight, and then you want to sew a stitch along on the outside, and I did about 1/2 inch away from the edge, and that'll give it that little outline that kind of gives it that foil balloon look. I mentioned the stuffing a little bit early, my apologies, but this is when you stuff it. And as I mentioned, I wouldn't overstuff it. If you want it to have a more, maybe I would say, realistic balloon look, not just like a pillow, it'll have that little bit deflated foil balloon look if you don't overstuff it. And once you stuff it, you'll just sew together that gap where my arm is going in, that gap that you're putting your polyfill in, you'll just sew it shut. After sewing that gap shut, you do want to get a ribbon or some fabric that you turn into a ribbon. I just am going with the monochromatic green look. choosing a green ribbon and tying it around where it would be tied on a real balloon, tying it shut basically, and making a little bow with some strings hanging down to make it look a bit more realistic. And after that, you're done. And depending what you're hanging it on the wall, I'm just putting it on a push pin right now. And I just tied this little string in one of the loops. And it worked perfectly to make it seem like it's floating. And I did just want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and choosing to learn with me. If you did enjoy this video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, hyping the video, and all that good stuff that helps me out. I really much do appreciate it. And hopefully you're able to make your own little floating balloon, and have a wonderful rest of your night, day, or whenever you're watching, wherever you're watching. And I hope to see you again here for my next tutorial. Bye bye.